This is one module in a 21-part series that the York Group has developed to provide guidance on key elements of a cloud business model, and I would encourage you to spend time going through the rest of the series. I mentioned in an earlier module that there are more ways to market for cloud solutions than there are for on-premise solutions. The challenge is to select a path to market that is best for your solution and to avoid channel conflict in the process. Let's take a look at the potential ecosystem for cloud solutions. We will still have the traditional channels that we have for on-premise: resellers, systems integrators, and distributors. The role they play might change, and some of them may disappear, but these categories are here to stay. But as you move to the cloud, you will find many more options. I will cover a few of these in more detail in just a bit, but this will give you a quick overview of how the cloud ecosystem is evolving. Managed service providers, or MSPs as they're often called, could become the dominant channel for SaaS solutions that target small and mid-sized businesses. Pure-play resellers are companies that were formed to focus on the recurring revenue model. They only work with SaaS products and for the most part do not build up a big professional services staff. Hosters such as Rackspace are virtual distributors providing infrastructure as well as sales and marketing enablement services to the ISVs. Syndicators and aggregators bundle together multiple solutions that fit together, for example Office 365 and a practice management solution for doctors and clinics. Marketplaces, which I will talk more about, have the potential to become a leading platform for cloud sales. It is still early days, but there are a few notable successes and many that are starting to grow in importance. And finally, affiliate marketing, which I'll also come back to, can be a low-cost way to generate referrals. They are not a channel in the classic sense, as they don't actually sell the solution to an end user, but they can be an effective channel to reach and funnel prospects to you. Let's take a closer look at marketplaces. Some of you may recognize this, but it's a Grand Bazaar in Istanbul, the largest marketplace in the world, where you can buy just about anything. Over time, marketplaces will emerge as an important part of the channel ecosystem for cloud solutions as well. Not the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul, but online and virtual. But there's one thing that marketplaces are not going to be. They're not going to be an answer to your prayers, a pot of gold that magically appears at the end of the rainbow. You can't just list your product on a marketplace and wait for the orders to flood in. Someone will still have to do the marketing. Either you do it, or you pay the marketplace or your partners in your channel ecosystem to do it. There just aren't any shortcuts to success. So how will the marketplaces make money? This is still an emerging model, but the commercial terms usually involve one or more of the following components. Some marketplaces will charge setup fees, especially if there's a lot of upfront integration involved. There is usually a listing fee per product, but the amounts are fairly low. Where the marketplaces want to make money, and where you want them to make money, is on commissions based on revenues. The typical percentage that is emerging is 20%. This can be higher for specialty sites and less for marketplaces that are more like listing directories. We're also seeing the rapid emergence of regional managed service providers. The typical MSP has 50 clients with 20 endpoints, PCs, tablets, phones, and so on, and they manage everything for their clients, which are usually too small to afford a full-time IT person. From a channel perspective, there are three primary benefits that they provide. The first is geographic concentration. They will usually be within a 1 to 2 hour drive of most of their clients, so they can drive out in the morning if on-site services are required, do the work, and drive back in the evening. Domain expertise. This can be around vertical markets or specific types of solutions such as security or CRM. Finally, they already have a business model based on subscriptions, so they don't have all of the transition issues to deal with that can be such a challenge for traditional resellers and partners. I mentioned that affiliate marketing can be a cost-effective way to generate new leads. There are many categories of affiliate marketers. It can be industry websites, bloggers, other vendors, etc. What they have in common is that they have a lot of traffic coming to their website, and they provide information and content that would be of interest to those visitors. By definition, this is volume-based anonymous marketing. People come to their websites and they don't have to register for basic access, so no one really knows who they are until they do something to engage with the website. Affiliate marketers are usually compensated using a variable structure, and I will give you some examples on the next slide. And it's a click-through model. A visitor sees a link to their website or a banner ad or a white paper they want to download, and they click on it. Ideally, this will bring them to your website. You have to be able to track where they come from so that you can pay your affiliate marketing partner. But be selective. There are tens of thousands of affiliate marketers, and not all of them have business models or reputations that you want to be associated with. Protect your brand by being selective. Here are some of the compensation options, and they all should reflect the value of the customer that comes to you through the affiliate marketer. This is usually some kind of fee per click-through, and there can also be a commission component, in which case the fee is reduced. We would suggest that you limit commissions from a unique visitor to 1 year. Another popular compensation model has activities-based fees, and this is particularly good for more complex products where you need multiple touches with the prospect. In this model, you assign a value for specific activities. For example, a low value for an anonymous click-through, something more if they register their name and email address, a bit more if they subscribe to your newsletter, even more if they sign up for a free trial. In total, the compensation you pay to an affiliate marketer for an actual sale, not just for activity on your website, should be no more than 3 to 5% of the transaction. So as you can see, if it drives volume for you, the cost of sales is quite low. Resellers will continue to be an important part of the food chain for business-to-business solutions. But in most major vendor ecosystems, fewer than 20% of channel partners have made a significant investment in building a cloud business, so you have to be selective. This means that finding good partners is like finding the proverbial needle in a haystack. If 80% of the partners aren't serious about the cloud, your addressable market of partners is a lot smaller than it is for on-premise. As you go into the market to look for reseller partners, you have to be very aware of where they are in the adoption cycle. And there are basically 4 categories of partners. There are on-premise service providers that have no interest in the cloud. They see their business as being installation and support of hardware, networking gear and related software, and have no intention of changing. There are resellers who claim they are in the cloud but are still focused on installation and implementation with no real business model for cloud solutions. Pure play resellers are companies set up to sell subscription licenses. They want to build up a big book of recurring revenues without investing in professional services beyond what it takes to implement the solution itself. The final category is where a lot of traditional resellers will end up. They are perfectly happy to sell and install on-premise or in the cloud, depending on the client requirements. Because cloud resellers are still in the minority, it is important to identify the best candidates. Here's what to look for. They should have an existing cloud-based model that seems to be working. You don't want to be the first cloud solution that they are selling. There are a range of services that they should be providing, and as you can see, they don't include installation and implementation, which have traditionally been a big part of their business. The good news about these services from the reseller's perspective is that they tend to be higher value services than the services associated with hardware and network deployments. And finally, they should have a compensation model for their salespeople that pays them for selling subscriptions, which is a lot different than selling an upfront license and some boxes. Prospective partners need to have figured out something that makes it worthwhile for their salespeople. Now, let's review where the different channel partners fit in. Marketplaces, hosters, distributors will have more of an impact at the lower end of the food chain, while resellers and project services partners will continue to dominate in the market for complex enterprise solutions. The mid-market segment will be hybrid, but with increasing use of automated sales and distribution models, leaving less room for traditional resellers. In the upper mid-market and enterprise markets, the solutions are more complex and more expensive, the sales cycle is longer, and there's often a requirement for services during the implementation. This requires a much higher touch approach. The Your Group helps ISVs and services companies that want to expand their cloud business. Our website offers a wide range of resources that you can access at no cost. And if there's anything we can do to help you, feel free to give me a call or send me an email.